Hey everyone, this is Dan the GM bringing you episode 107 of What the Dice. That's right, my friends, 107 episodes, all coming at you for your earball's pleasure. Well, what do I got for our administrative end? Well, as always, you can join us on our Discord. You can find that at whatthedice.weebly.com over in the links section. You can join us on Twitter at whatthedicepod. And you can join us at Facebook, What the Dice Pod. And speaking of where you can follow us, let's do ourselves a little random listener shout out. Let's give this dice a nice little roll. Looks like we are heading over to the Book of Faces. So, who are we gonna shout out? Casey. Thanks for following us over on the Book of Faces, and thanks for joining us each and every week here at What the Dice. If you want your own shout out, don't forget to follow us on any of the major streaming platforms, and you yourself might get a random shout out. That's all I got, so I'm gonna shut up and get you guys get on with this week's episode. This is episode 107, and you are on What the Dice. As we walk around the campsite and head slightly into the wooded area to gather some simple firewood for the storyteller, an arrow whizzes by our head and strikes the tree next to us. Alarmed, we grab our weapon and we turn, seeing the storyteller, and he is got a slight chuckle. Well, well, me friends, I do apologize. I was aiming for a dire rat, and these old eyes aren't what they used to be. Too many years at sea, and too many years reading and writing by candlelight. Well, come, let us sit. There are fish that have been dried. We join him at the campsite. He pulls out his book from his satchel and opens it. A slight plume of dust enters the air. We can smell the dankness of a cave. And we smile. The storyteller looks at us. Well, me friends, the adventurers have gotten deeper into Godspell, this is true. But they have found a room that is filled with turrets that have different types of ammo, placed there by some unknown force, be it God or man, we are not too clear on. But their goal is deeper still. A rat hunt has started, and a rat hunt must be finished. So, while we wait for our prey to hide, let us continue our tale. Sit back, relax, and hear me tale. So, in the last episode, the team had a chance to poke at a computer screen, hopefully not get shot. Defibulous decided he's going to brave being shot, even though he had the chance to change the ammo to a different type, and walk in with live ammo loaded in 8 turrets. Lucky for him, he was carrying the sin of a crew member from aboard the above the Godspell. The turrets identified him as a friendly and allowed him to come in unaccosted. Defibulous, in the last episode, you saw the words hostile, or what did I say? Patrol mode active, force allowed, friend foe active, and after raising the strange key card, it opened up, giving you access to the panel,
including the end of the episode.
Yeah,
and I hit that button.
Yep, and he successfully ended the episode.
Hitting that button.
Okay, so don't hit that button again.
There was a button that said eject mag, right?
Yep.
Diffuse like, I'll push that button.
You hear the sounds of gears clicking, and you hear as
oh no,
barrel magazines the size of your head drop to the ground with a loud thunk.
Wow, that was kind of neat.
Does that mean it's safe for us to come into the room yet?
Should be. I mean, they might have one in the chamber, but you can try.
Look back at Faye to see if she wants this to come into the room or is like, nope, and right out.
Faye is teaching Hugin how to play patty cake.
Violet's just gonna stand there and blink.
I think we broke her.
Yeah, I think we did too, as Kalila just shakes her head, takes a breath, and steps into the room with the preparedness to immediately jump out of the way.
As you step in, you hear magazine empty.
Defibulous!
What?
Perception checks from anyone in the room. So Defibulous and Kalila.
23.
Mathing. 33.
Defibulous doesn't hear it, but Kalila hears it. Sounds like something rotating. And then you see on the screen in front of Defibulous, Stick and Shock loaded as 3 bullets whiz by you, hitting the ground, and there is a quick spark of electricity. And then you hear the words, recalibrating, as the system is readjusting its aim.
Totally jumping back in the hallway with Faye.
Hey, wanna play patty cake?
You know?
Defibulous like, well, that's rude.
Sure, why not? She sits down and joins in the patty cake.
Defibulous will poke around the computer now to see what else he can do.
You can hit eject magazine again.
Yeah, he'll eject the magazine.
You hear something heavy hitting the ground 8 more times. You hear the system click and rotate, and you hear sandbags loaded.
I'm sure he'll figure it out eventually.
He'll eject those too.
Those eject, and then you hear gel rounds loaded.
Like, I'm kind of curious what the gel round is, but I'm just gonna sit here and play patty cake.
Hey, they loaded something called gel rounds. Anyone want to get shot by one?
No!
I'm gonna throw a rock through the room.
Haphazardly chuck a rock with Faye into the room.
Both of the rocks are shot with this strange green glue, and instead of like rolling like you would expect something when it hits the ground, it just sticks to the ground.
Ooh. Nope, more patty cake.
He'll eject those too.
All magazines ejected. Switching off patrol mode until further loading is completed. You hear the sounds of gears clicking as the turrets slowly raise into the roof.
I think I fixed it.
She'll chuck another rock.
Hits the ground unaccosted.
Alright, she'll actually lift her head up and look. I think it's safe now.
What have you guys been doing in there anyway?
Nothing. She quickly stands up. Also, I would like to point out this was probably the silentest game of patty cake. Because it's a spider paw. The softest pad, right? Like, who the hears a spider foot, right? Like, think about this. And then you have Kalila, who is skilled at being quiet and is also a cat and has padded feet. And then we have Faye, who is all silent anyways and I think has gloves on or something. And if I remember right, they're like fingerless padded gloves or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the most silent patty cake game ever.
Yep.
Are you saying that out loud or is just...
No. That was me, a person,
Okay.
talking out of character of, I just want everybody to stop and admire this moment.
That is indeed a quiet game of patty cake.
Fibulous is gonna go take a look at those magazines that got ejected.
Looking at these magazines, these bullets are about the size of your forearm. They are not a standard issue round that you would see. And they would remind you of a upscaled version of a magazine, just a lot more advanced.
Fibulous will pop one of the rounds out and go, hey, I should load... Wouldn't you like to see me fire one of these out of gun?
Not at me.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, but it might be entertaining to see you try firing it at something else.
Did you try to identify the round before popping it out of the magazine?
Nope.
Okay, give me one moment.
Fibulous's excitement got the better of him.
Also, he wouldn't know any better.
Oh, no.
Defibulus, the bullet in your hand is long and slender with two small prongs sticking out the front. As you eject it from the round, there's a quick spark of electricity, and your hair is standing on end as the bullet discharges its electrical round.
Oh, that was shocking. Well, it's kind of fun, though.
Now that you've cleared the room of the turret and you have solved my turret puzzle, what would you guys like to do?
Well, Kalila will cautiously, and again, be prepared to jump out of the way into the room.
You're good. Yeah, nothing happens. The turrets have rescended into the roof.
Rescinded, yeah.
Rescended? Yes, rescended into the roof, and you don't even see the openings where they were at.
Receded. The word I think is receded. Rescended works.
They're in the roof. I don't need your worded words. I'll make my own.
So where was this smart rat having his big meeting at anyway?
Yeah, where did he, like, hop off to?
So just north of where you guys entered, you will see that there's like a little cross-section of stuff. Tables and whatnot. They were all kind of congregated there, and he was standing on a crate that was far north. He left. If you look to the north, you would see a...
Oh, damn it.
Oh, that is the wrong icon. You would see a small hallway leading out, but you didn't see if he went right or left.
All right, Kalila's gonna go up there cautiously, listening for anything.
As you go more north, I need a perception check.
24.
You hear the sounds of rats skittering, and you hear the sounds of bats chittering, and you hear the sounds of something oozing through stone. You also hear the low rumble of something burrowing beneath you. Not directly underneath you, but something is burrowing in the stone a couple feet below you. And it's not coming up, it's just passing through. So, most likely the tunneling creature that they did tell you was down here.
Alright, that way sounds like a whole lot of everything. I found the slime, or, well, I located his general direction, looking at Faye.
No.
Or we could explore down that hallway and see which is that way before we follow the rat,
When
the
you say
larger rat.
that way, which way are you talking?
She is pointing to what would be the west, yes, the west entry way from where they entered.
Okay.
Poke her head around the corner too, listening there.
You hear bats chittering, you hear rats chittering, you hear that same low rumble, which probably is just an echoing through the hallways and the tunnels that you've seen.
Just no slime oozy noises?
No slime oozy sounds. And I need one more perception check.
No dungeon Roomba.
31.
3-1, 31?
Yes, 3-1.
To the north, you see a giant carcass. The meat has been picked clean, and you just see bones, and you see a bow that has been snapped and chewed on. The string doesn't look like the string you've ever seen before. The armor that is very reminiscent of what Defibulus is currently wearing is full of holes and stained with old blood, but there's something behind them. A small quiver with what looks like 2 arrows in it. At least they look like arrows.
I'm going to check the opposite direction and make sure this isn't something that, like, I don't know, killed the guy where he stood before I go and rummage in the interesting pile.
Perception check.
$23.
You see nothing. This looks like this is reminiscent of an old battle.
We'll cautiously approach the body.
Okay, you approach the body.
Is that string intact? Because it made it sound
No, it
That's
looks like it had been snapped in half and maybe burned. Like,
Oh, okay. It made it sound that happened to the bow part, not the string part. But all right, I'll accept that.
as you approach, do you have knowledge nature?
Oh yes.
Okay, give me a knowledge nature.
15.
Looking at this, its body size isn't familiar. It seems, just slightly taller than you, but the tusks, they look orcish, but you see one of the tusks is metal and it's all rusted out. You move a glove out of the way, you see that there's a metal arm that is completely rusted and damaged and fried from within. It kind of reminds you of an orc, but a head or two smaller, but better built. Like they look stronger. And then
Hey,
you see all this
guys.
strange metal on it.
Yeah, she'll go, hey, guys.
Yes.
Can you... Hey, is this an orc? She points to the body.
The previous will come over and see what she's looking at.
Do you have knowledge nature?
That's a good question.
I mean, you know what an orc looks like, so yes, it looks like an orc, but with the knowledge nature, you would be able to get more information.
Nope, I have knowledge engineering, knowledge local.
Then nothing for you. It looks like an orc.
Looks like an orc to me. You can ask him.
I can?
Sure, hey, are you an orc?
Hey, Faye, can you speak to the dead?
I mean, that's kind of in my domain. But I don't... Give me a sec, I need to check my spell list, because I don't think I can.
As Kalila's sitting there going, I could have swore I saw something in Mexi's shop. That was something in the item that dealt with either speaking to the undead or maybe they summoned the undead. She's making a mental note. To possibly get something that allows them to speak to dead things.
I think there was the argument of not buying it because everything you come across right now isn't dead. It's dead, but still alive.
As Kalila's also then going through her head going, what else should I get? Because, even especially after her last dream sequence, she's just like, I am so underprepared. I need more random things for the things I don't expect to come across. Also, why don't I have speak to the dead? We are speaking to the bone goddess.
Because technically she's not dead. She is a
Well, yeah,
deity.
but
Okay, so, I don't have Speak with Dead, I have Restore Court.
Restore what?
Restore Court.
Restore
saying
corpse.
corpse?
I have Restore Court.
Oh, okay. Your thing was I just heard restore court, like a high
That's what I was
court,
hearing.
and I was like, that's the wrong word.
All right, so you're going to restore the corpse, but this is bone, so there's not really a corpse left.
I think she was more telling us what she could do, not that she is doing.
Okay.
The effect is that the skeletal corpse regrows flesh. So I don't believe it brings it back to life. I think we would simply be able to tell whether or not it was an orc.
So kind of like mending is for inanimate objects.
I don't know what to do here.
I just was curious. I don't need an answer that badly.
Hey, Kalila, how close have you gotten to this bony creature?
I mean, I was going to grab the quiver of arrows, so however close I need to be for that.
You hear echoing from almost like a whisper. Hi.
Oh, she'll jump. Like classic away from the body.
I want you to know I didn't actually cast anything.
And she is looking around the room. And also at the corpse.
I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
Did anybody else hear that?
Phoebus is just gonna fall on his ass laughing.
You would.
I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me roll. Somebody call it even or odd.
Even.
It was even. Her tail is fluffed.
Phoebus is just rolling on the ground laughing hysterically at this.
I don't know.
Does she hear it again? or see anything?
Defibulus is laughing too hard, but if you were like looking at him, he seems to be more mischievously laughing than like laughing at. It seems like he had something to do with this.
Who, Defibulus?
Yes.
What did you do?
Still laughing.
She'll stand there glaring at him until he's done.
A couple minutes later, Desperius wipes tears from his eyes. Oh man, that was worth it.
What did you do?
Well, I do use a little bit of magic. I just cast a little spell on that.
You did a cantrip, didn't you?
A cat trip, you said? Yes, I caused a cat
Cantrip.
trip. It looked more like a cat trip at this point.
She's gonna thwap him with her tail. It's all fluff and just pick up that quiver of arrows.
As you pull the quiver of arrows off of its back, the nylon rope that held it in place, like the I don't know what else to call it besides a nylon belt, pulls away and shreds easily. And inside you see two solid black arrow quivers that lead down into a small cylinder that is red and a strange button on the tip. On the edge, a little yellow triangle with what looks like little lines going away from a center pointed circle.
Hey, Defibulus.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep laughing. What's this? As she holds up the arrow.
Defibulus will kind of snicker and snort a bit, and then come over and take a look at this arrow.
You've seen them on strange metal barrels that your parents have come across, and they've pretty much just tuned to that symbol means that the thing that's there is explosive.
Well, from what I remember of Mom and Dad finding things like that, that generally means the thing is explosive.
Not good to know. She will put them in her quiver to experiment with later.
Standing in this hallway, you guys can still hear the chittering of rats and bats and all sorts of cave sounds.
Well, since nothing has shot at them with around this wherever this body's at, she's going to... I'll move her. She's going to continue further south just to see if it just kind of rounds out the room before going down the natural rocky tunnel that is before her.
As you poke around, you see that these walls have been damaged by over time. And it looks like at some point they hit it with a pickaxe or, begrudgingly hit it with something. Just past where you see the body, you do see a wall that is mostly crumbled, and you can kind of see what looks like an old torch that is still there. It's kind of giving you the hint that there is some kind of cave or pathway behind an old crumbled section of wall.
All right, she'll move her magic-y lantern that she has over to that opening so it's visible and stand in front of the other one that's kind of more obvious. And then look back at Faye and go, which way? They both have the same level of noise. Rats, bats, chitters. I can't make anything out.
Weird.
Past that.
Weird orcish things talking to you?
I'll get you back for that.
Oh, I'm sure, but it was still worth it.
I'll get you back for that.
I love that we're like 104 episodes in. Defibulus has never casted a spell. The one time he casts a spell, it's to mess with Kalila.
Yep.
I love it.
But I've also caused the most property damage, I think, out of everyone here.
Too.
This is true. This is true.
We need to make like a little meter score of like collateral damage and like just keep track of it.
You guys can't even keep track of your loot.
I am now! I even have my Maximilian Loot Hoarder inventory tab up and on my tab and the group loot tab.
Wow.
Right? I am
Wow.
prepared. Wow.
Somebody's on it today.
As you guys are staring at these two possible pathways you want to take, what are you guys going to do to decide this?
Oh no, she looked at Faye. It's on Faye's shoulders.
Oh man.
Because she's still mad at Defibulous, so she's not letting him pick.
Which one looks like it dead ends sooner?
I'm gonna look down both or listen.
Neither. They are both pretty echoey, and you really can't see that far in.
Alright, let's go this way.
Which way is this way, north or west?
The north tunnel.
Looking at the north tunnel, as Faye walks up to it, it looks like you're going to have to remove some debris to get that way.
Shuffle, shuffle.
Shuffle, shuffle.
All right, strength check.
I got a 12.
I actually do not have a terrible mark. I have an 18 plus 3. I have an over 20.
Okay, over 20. Kalila, what you get?
12.
12. Defibulous, are you helping?
Yeah, Defibulous will help if he's allowed to.
Yeah, he is. It's a playful mad. It's not a real mad.
So I decided to cast another spell.
She might physically trip you then.
As you guys dig, after a minute or two, one of you lucks out, pulls the right stone, and the stone just kind of falls away. As the wall falls away, you hear the silence kick in as the rats and the bats stop moving and are more like hiding from predator style, like animalistic behavior. But nothing is rushing towards you.
Well, I'll make it easy to traverse quietly then. Am I leading or are you leading, Faye?
You have better ears.
All right.
Well, I will take the lead.
Moving through this tunnel, you see indications of areas that people have been here a long time ago. Broken pickaxes, broken shovels, the occasional canteen that has been damaged, that has been costed off to the side, even to the point of you see old sackcloth that usually is used to store rations. The travel and traverse is long, and if you guys are going quietly, very tedious at the least. Is there anything you guys want to do while you're making this pathway?
Nope. Kalila's being quiet, and this is getting her full attention.
Yeah.
Continuing on the route, it's windy and turny, and you hear the sounds of dripstone and all of that, like, normal cave ambience. Eventually, you find the end, and it's just a long road to darkness. It slides downward, and it looks like it heads deep underground, and you can just smell the smell of old decaying swamp water dripping off in the distance. This seems to be heading further and further away from God's Val. This could be one of the original tunnels.
I think we're going the wrong way, guys.
I would say you're probably right. We're heading in the wrong direction.
Let's head back.
Back in that room, things are still quiet. The turrets have not reactivated, and the fires that had started have finally kind of burned themselves out.
All right. I still have my lantern. It had like, I think, like 8 hours or something like that. So I'm continuing to the other tunnel because that's the only other option.
The one that is westish?
Yes, the original between the north and the west going west.
All right. As you walk, you hear the sounds of chittering rats, and you can see indications that rats have been here, and it looks like they are dragging chunks of metal and stuff like that through. And you've come to an intersection. You see rough-looking stones that head downward, and then you see a curve that looks like it heads back on itself, maybe.
Let's finish out this way.
Which way is this way?
This way.
Yeah.
The western direction?
Yeah.
The main tunnel. We're going to continue on the main tunnel before... Finish the level you're on before you descend.
Okay. You're going to Diablo this shit. Got it.
Yes, we're going to explore the entirety of the map probably before heading down to the complete next level because this place has too many different surprises.
Right?
As you follow the tunnel, you see that you breach through another stone wall, and you see metal flooring. This room is ice cold, and you can see your breath. And you see rats, dire rats, that have been frozen in place from just the sheer cold of this place. For you all, it is cold, but not dangerously cold.
I still don't like being cold. Let's get through here quickly.
Definitely a very chilling place here.
Boo!
Yay!
Man, way to freeze us out.
You're welcome.
All right, nice, good security pan across the room before entering.
Besides the frozen rats, you don't
Yep.
see anything of interest that you can tell. You do see a section of wall that looks like someone had taken a flame belcher to it or tried to set it on fire with like a fire spell. The metal is burned and charred. Looks like there might be a door behind the scrapped out metal, but you're not 100% sure.
Is there ice visible on the ground, or just the rats frozen?
The rats are frozen. Basically, it got cold enough to where they slowed down and just stopped moving.
Okay, so it's not like visible ice is everywhere. It's
No.
just very chilled,
Yeah, it would be
like a refrigerator.
more like a freezer.
Okay.
So it's
alright.
cold enough to survive in, but it is not fun.
All right, she's gonna check out the ceiling, make sure there's no circly things to indicate turrets, and if not, she'll take the first steps across.
All right, roll a perception.
27.
27, you see nothing in the roof.
All right. 5 feet.
All right. Doing another perception check.
Just to be cautious.
All right, roll it.
Nat 20.
All right. With a nat 20, you see another strange screen next to the damaged door. It is sparking, and it looks like a rat had actually chewed the panel off. Looking up again, you see towards the more northern area, you see another panel that looks like some metal has fallen across it and would have been pretty much unnoticeable from any other angle. The other thing you notice, which is more what you fear, in the center, you see mist coming out of a small opening.
Like heat, like steam, or more?
No, like cold smoke. Like that smoke of, we would know it as if you have one like a sub-zero freezer and you open it, that poof of
Okay.
icy smoke. That's what you see.
I was going to say, like, liquid nitrogen discharging?
Like liquid nitrogen discharging.
All right. Faye,
Well,
Fibulous. Just don't come past me. I don't see any turrets or anything dangerous in the sense that it can attack us. But, and she'll point to the ceiling, the fog coming out, going, I don't know what that is, but it might have something to do with the cold. And then there's a panel over there, and she'll tell the Fibulous where she sees the panels and help him locate them.
Get lots of red shit appear all over the map.
I'm guessing that's all the scrap metal?
So to the north, I put some blocks that are scrap metal, and then I put the X on the panel that you see that is cracked and damaged, that it looks like a rat chewed off. And then you see a giant blue square, which is where you're seeing the liquid nitrogen discharge smoke of, oh my god, that's too cold to want to be near. This room is the opposite of Texas.
Fair.
Kind of wishing right about now. So we should stay along the edges of the room and probably avoid whatever that is in the middle.
Yeah, that's gonna be the safest bet.
Is there another way out of this room?
Not that I've found yet. Kalila will carefully make her way around, all the way around the perimeter to the scrap metal-y door.
Okay.
And I'm assuming Defibulous is following to check out the panels.
So you're going to be following the outside wall, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to loop
Okay.
northeastwardly around the room, so clockwise.
Okay. Are you going to do anything about the scrap metal across the panel that you see that is to that northeastern section?
I'll help Defibulous clear it out if he wants.
All right. I need a strength check from both of you.
While they do that, I'm gonna sneak around the rest of the perimeter of the room in a counterclockwise.
Okay.
Yeah, for security, I was hoping you would. I have a 14.
16.
14, 16. The metal is very cold to the touch, and it's very hard to move. You're slowly making it squeak and like stress as you're slowly pulling it out of the way. Faye, I need a perception check.
25.
With a 25, you go to take a step and you stop. And at your feet is an ooze that is completely frozen solid. You give it a little tap with your foot, and it is solidly frozen, like it is not moving. You skirt around it carefully, and you make your way towards the damaged console. How close to that wall are you sticking when you pass that console, or are you stopping at that console?
Okay, so I'm about here, right?
Yes, you're in that southeastern wall, really close to the panel.
This is the one that's sparking, right?
It's not necessarily sparking, but it is clearly damaged. It looks like a rat had gotten its grubby little claws behind it and pulled the actual screen off, and it's exposed the wires. It looks like maybe a wire or two has been chewed, but you don't see any like actual electrical discharge.
You don't always have to see it. I'm going to maintain enough distance to not touch it, and I'm probably not going to stop by it. I'm not enjoying all the computery bits.
I need a perception check from everyone, and I need a reflex check from Faye.
Nat 20.
I have rolled the same perception.
Nat 20?
No, the same as last time, 25.
25?
And my reflex is 29.
34.
Faye, you just barely jump out of the way as you hear Kalilith tell you to watch out as a stream of bluish water hits the ground right where you were standing and just freezes the ground solid. You now see a turret. This one is differently built. It's got two large cylinders on its back with many tubes leading up to a single barrel that is strange and split, and it is dripping with water, and you see more of that cold smoke billowing out from above.
Wow, well, regardless of the fact that she jumped back, you okay?
I've disappeared.
Oh, she shadow stepped. Is that what you did?
Yep. An enemy missed me. I can disappear.
I missed that. I thought it was just described as you stepping back. Yeah, I didn't know you shadow stepped.
I just now said it. I was like, what, something. Oh, that's what I can do.
Oh.
I can disappear.
So you shadow step. Okay.
I shadow stepped, and I am back over here with them.
Okay, so I will correct myself. So are you visually gone at the moment, or have you reappeared next to us?
Reappeared. I can end that effect when I want or when I want to attack. So I have ended the effect and have shadow stepped over to you guys.
Well, that will be surprising, and Kalila will have a small jump again, nice flinch. Go, you okay? Also, what? And make point at where she was, and then point at where she is. Like, what the hell just happened?
You get scared so badly she jumped over here?
Apparently, I'm a skittish cat today.
Very much so.
This barrel is pointed at you, but it is clear you are out of its range.
That was the hope.
So that was cool that it fired liquid out. I haven't seen that before.
How'd you jump this far? That fat? What? How'd you appear here?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, come on.
You did kind of just like fly across the room and appear out of nowhere.
Reflexes? I don't know.
You do it again.
It's your new armor, isn't it?
No, that feels different.
fun trick.
Useful.
Quite. Well, Kalila's going to continue to try and help the Fibios get to this panel, because so far every panel we've come across has been useful.
All right, I need another strength check from everyone that's helping.
Hold on. I'm gonna use the crowbar.
All right, you're pulling out the crowbar.
Yes.
I'll help with.
And then I need strength checks from anyone that's helping.
I have another nat 20.
Okay. As the Kalila, as you see Defibulus pull out the crowbar, you and him sit down and figure out where to place it, and you shoulder check this thing, and the metal just falls to the ground with a loud. And you see a panel, and you don't see any words on it. You just see a blue screen with a single white line flashing.
Let Fibulus take over. She doesn't know anything.
You're right.
Fibulus will take a look at this.
Where's Hugan? Let's play patty cake.
Probably still in the tunnel because it's cold. But yeah, we'll go play some patty cake.
Let's go play patty cake.
Wait, you guys were playing patty cake with Hugan?
No.
Yeah. And?
So you guys are getting to the entrance again?
No, Kalila's gonna stay and guard Defibulus just in case that thing decides to spit water at them or something.
Okay. Faye, are you staying or are you going?
I don't like being cold. I'm going to step out of the cold zone. I'm skirting the wall.
Defibulus. Engineering check. Knowledge.
28, because I cannot do basic math at the moment.
As you step up, you begin to poke and prod the thing, trying to get it to activate, and you find a small button on the side. You press it, and the system comes on, saying something about exiting sleep mode, and you feel, or you see a small blue light cross over you. Then you see that strange SIN number appear, and it asks, would you like to run diagnostic?
Yeah, sure.
As you click yes, you see what we would know as like a programmer's code. So the black screen with all the different numbers and things. I am not a programmer, so I don't know what it's freaking called, but...
Letters and numbers and things,
oh my. Yes. And it runs for a minute or two, and then it makes a comment of that there is a partial clog in hose 3 and asks if you would like it to clear it.
Defibulus will look over at the group with kind of a mischievous look.
I know that twinkle in your eye. What are you doing?
It says there's a clog in... he'll look again. Pipe 3. And it asks if I want to unclog it.
That could potentially make the room colder, or that thing could actually hit us from here, or it could fix the problem in this room. I don't know what to do.
Well, I figured I'd warn you guys, because I'm about ready to tell you yes.
Lila's finding cover.
So you're gonna, pick up that piece of metal and holst it up so it isn't between...
As long as it doesn't freeze my paws, yes.
It is cold to the touch, but not where it's painful. So you're gonna basically lean it against the wall and make a mock lean-to?
Yes.
Okay. Defibulus, are you hiding behind the lean-to?
Yes.
Faye, is there anything you'd like to do before I continue the scene?
Yes. I will skip over there and put guidance on both of them.
And then skip back.
Because that gives them... Yep. That gives them like a... I think that was the +1 on their next
it was
save.
a +1 to something, and there was like options.
Defibulus, are you hitting the button to have it clear the line?
Yep.
You press the button and it's quiet. You think you hear what sounds like something being pumped through a line, and then you hear it get louder, and then it's the explosion and a hiss as the turret literally explodes, sending frozen shrapnel across the ground, and the tanks shatter open, spilling this strange liquid across the ground, which instantly freezes and leaves a strange cold mist hovering just inches above it. The room is now about 50 degrees colder, and it is almost painful to be in here, but it soon warms up as the system kicks in, and you hear the hum of something that you don't recognize, and the room starts to warm up to where it is comfortable.
I was right on both accounts.
Ooh, something.
Just like to say.
Not gonna lie, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was kind of entertaining. Kalila's gonna get up slowly from behind her makeshift lean-to. He fixed it.
I see that.
So that takes care of the turd in front of the door, right?
Excellent.
Now we just need to open that panel and that door.
So this
Freezy vent.
Yes,
is not a problem.
the turret
anymore,
in the
right?
center, so what you guys would see is the blue square. That was the turret.
Oh, okay.
Defibulous is gonna check to see what the magic screen is saying now.
It is just saying that there's been a critical error and that the turret has been registered as destroyed.
Ready to play with the other panel? That one's sparking.
You also see it says that fire suppression systems are offline now.
Okay.
Nope. Kalila's gonna point at the panel looking at Defibulous going, round 2?
Sure.
All right. This panel looks like it has been chewed on pretty thoroughly by rats, and look, you see little marks and claws where they have successfully pried the panel forward. Just above it, in a scratched out, damagey looking piece of metal, you see door controls. You see the words door control.
You guys want me to give that a try?
All you.
Defibulous will give the door control buttons a try.
The screen is non-active. You see no lights, you see no power. You just see the exposed wires and a cracked up screen.
We'll see if you can find a way to make it work again.
All right. Knowledge engine, or yeah, let's do knowledge. Engineering skill.
Or disable device if he's playing with if the screen's not working. Would that be using the panel itself?
Disable device is for disabling the device. The device is already disabled. He's trying to fix it or bypass
26.
it. You said 26?
Mm-hmm.
All right. With the 26, you poke the wires, you twist the wires, you lick the wires, you sniff the wires, and these wires have 0 power. And you kind of sit there and look around and you see where the wires kind of go up the wall. So you assume that the shrapnel destroyed burned door is what this panel controls. But the door is completely destroyed and unable to be moved.
He will convey this to the party with a sad tone.
Alright, so you're saying that thing can't open this? Pointing at the debris wall?
As far as I understand, yeah, this thing does no power, and I don't think it's capable of opening up that mess.
You said rats looked like they dragged this here, right?
No, it looks like they pried the panel off. Like they were trying to get into the circuitry to bypass the door controls to get it to open. But this
I
door...
meant the door itself,
No.
not the panel.
The door looks like it is what we would know as like a blast door, security door, that someone either cast a bunch of fire spells on it or tried to use like some type of incendiary skill on it, and
Possibly
it did
the
much.
dwarves
Yeah.
that were that probably, or they came through that we saw the evidence, right, of the other people who were the original dwarves coming through the area.
Correct.
Hey, Defibulous.
Yo.
You said these arrows were explosive, holding up the arrow that she found.
I most certainly did so.
Shall I test one? Do you think it would work on this door?
Actually, Defibulous will study the door and its debris composition to see if it is capable of being blown open like that.
Knowledge engineering.
If not, we can try some of that C4 brick explosives.
28.
If you do the math between the door and her arrows, no, it is not got enough power to punch through that wall.
The arrows do not, but that C4 stuff might.
Want to try it out?
How you at?
So what are the walls made of?
Metal?
Can they be disassembled?
No, they are like heavy panels. So each side of the door is anywhere between 6.5 and 7 feet tall. And it's probably wide enough to be like considered like a large double door. So think of
Large enough to fit an orc.
fit an orc, yeah, but these are what we would know as like military grade doors. Like these things are pretty heavy duty. Like they are definitely a steel that you guys don't recognize.
Okay, so, but there's no nuts or bolts or anything, any screw heads that we would see or identify where we could start disassembling
Correct.
anything to make it easier to blow up.
And to answer Kalila's question, Defibrilla's like, are you asking if I want to blow something up?
Yes, I am.
Why would you ask such a question? The answer is always
For the
yes.
fun formality of it. It's like asking someone, do you want to dance?
No,
You
not
want to build
really.
a snowman?
Set the thing up. She opens the briefcase or wherever it's stored.
Correct.
Yep, so I'm backing up for this one.
Okay. So, did anyone get the instruction manual for how to use the C4?
Yes, we all have physical copies.
Yes.
And the mathematics to figure out how much we might actually need.
So, based on the math that you have, you will need 2 bricks of the C4. I will need a knowledge engineering from the Fibulus to set this up.
29.
With the 29, you follow the step-by-step instructions and you figure out how to get it all wired up, and you hold out and you put the rest away and you hold up this single-use remote. It is a small, slender, about the thickness of a pencil pen for us, and there's a little red button on it. And according to the book, you need to be clear of all shrapnel, so you do not want to stand directly in front of it, and it has a blast radius of about 60 feet.
Alright, so where the tunnel is safely far enough away, and Kalila's going to drag one of those big metal panes and make another lean-to in front of the tunnel
All
to
right.
protect them from shrapnel.
As Kalila takes her time to haul that over there,
Sounds
and
good.
everyone kind of helps it lean up, the Fibulus, you raise your hand up and you start to depress the button. You hear a click and an explosion. And the end of the episode.
Damn, I blew up the episode again.
Yep, you blew up the episode again.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Because we like ending with explosions.
Well, 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 it seems the adventurers have gotten quite a bit deeper, dealing with new turrets that spit freezing water, and finding out what this strange brick of C4 can do. Well, it seems they have just opened up the door to get even further into the forgotten lands of the Godspell Caves. Well, my friends, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for tonight. You rest until the next time we see each other. I have rats to go hunt. And as always, may the dice gods bless your every roll.
We here at What the Dice would like to thank Paizo for creating Pathfinder, Epidemic Sound for our music, as well as Sirenscape for our sound effects. If you would like to reach out to us, you can do so on Facebook at What the Dice Pod, Twitter at What the Dice Pod, and of course email
whatthedicepod@gmail.com. And if you liked our little adventure, please share us with your friends and rate and review us.